Hello guys, how are you doing? Hope you're cool. In this video, we're going to be looking at how to use a data structure. In the last video, we discussed about um, simple storage, where we created a simple storage where libraries can store books, right? With the ID, the name, and the author of the book, right? So in this video, what we'll be doing in this video is to create a factory that can deploy a contract. So what we are actually doing is this. We are creating a smart contract to deploy another smart contract. We can easily deploy smart contracts from this place, but we want to create a smart contract that can easily deploy the smart contract for us. So which is called library. So let's see how we do that. So as usual, we need to start with syntax called solidity, pragma solidity. Then we give it a version. So let's just say 8.0.8.0, right? Then we'll give it a name as usual, the name of the contract. So let's call it factory. I'll call it factory, then we'll give it a name. Given it the name of the contract is factory. So it's just like that's what we call it factory. So it generates new contract, smart contracts. You generate the smart contracts for us. So what the first thing we're gonna be doing? The first thing we're gonna be doing is this. What we actually want to achieve is this. We're gonna create a new what's it called? A new contract. Then we store it on the blockchain. So that's actually, and also what we'll be learning as well. We'll be learning how to use inheritance. I've been saying it in a previous video. We're talking about inheritance. So want to see how we can inherit, how contracts can interact with each other. How can we use another contract in our own contract? So that's actually what we're doing. That's another thing we're going to be learning in this contract. So let's quickly see how to do that. Now, the first thing we're going to be doing is to create a storage. Whenever we deploy the contract, you should have a place to store the contract. So our first step is to import. So yeah, there's a keyword import in Solidity. So it helps you to import your contract as we normally use in other languages as well. So we use import. First of all, import the contract you want to be creating, you want to be generating. So this is a simple contract we want to be generating. We'll be deploying with this. So for us to do that, we need to get the name of this contract. The contract itself. So we're going to use the file. So we're going to import this contract inside this particular contract by using import, then dot slash, then the name of the contract, the name of the file is simple storage, right? So simple storage, then dot so having done this, we have successfully imported this contract inside our contract. So we can now start interacting with this contract in our smart contract. So in our factory contract. So the first thing is to create a storage, right? So we want to store this contract into an array, right? On the blockchain, right? So we need to call the name of this contract, which is library contract, right? So we're going to copy this, then we're going to put it here, then we'll give it an array. Now declare it as an empty array, and the visibility as usual, then we give it a name. You can say library array. So library is a keyword, so we cannot use library alone. So we're gonna add some stuff there. So this is our storage that's gonna store our contract we created. I'm gonna store it. So the next thing is to create a function that will help us to create storage. So we can just call it create storage. It's gonna help us to deploy the contract, and so we can generate new contracts. So you use create, then public, or use public, then we're gonna have this. So as usual, we know this is a function, and we know what function needs to help us to perform a particular task. So the task we want you to do, want you to perform for us is to generate a new contract. You get? So if you want to do that, you want to generate a new contract, we're going to write the contract. We use this contract as a data type, as a types for a local variable. So we say local, what's it called, library contract. Then we can call this library data, or anything that I think is gonna open library deploy. Let's call it library store. Store. Yeah, we can call it store. Let's call it store to be more safer side. Then the next thing we introduce what we call a new keyword. So this new keyword is a keyword in Solidity that helps us to generate new contract, or new, depends on what you're doing, or new object. You get? So that's what it does. So you're going to use new, then you call the contract you wanted to generate for us, which is this contract, and you give it parentheses. So having done this, you successfully created a contract with this. Now for us to now be able to get the contract, we need to add the new contract we've created, which is this. So we can call this new contract. So let's just use so that you understand very well. I call it new contract. Yeah, I can call this variable new contract. So this is the one. Whenever this is the new contract that it's going to generate. So then the next thing we're going to be doing, since we've created the storage, right? So we need to add the contract we've created inside our storage, which is an array. So how do we do that? We just use a library array, then dot push. So as I have explained in the previous video, that we use dot push to add what's it called? To add data inside an array. You get? To add data inside an array. You know, array is just like a storage that stores different variable or values in it. And I explained how we have different types of array. We have the one for dynamic and one for fixed. So the one we're using now is dynamic rather. So we can store more than one contract. You get? So let's say we have library.push. Then what are we pushing? So we're pushing our new contract inside, and so whenever you are generating this contract, we're gonna be pushed inside an array. So it's gonna have an array. You know what that means? It means our array is gonna be having different contracts like related data in it. So I think with this we've been able to create what they call a new contract. We need to create a new contract. So let's quickly follow a good practice by using SPDX license, which we've explained this in our previous video. Our license work, just verify your contract, and you're telling another person that they can have access to your contract. So that's actually what this what's it called, SPDX license. Like you are giving the license to people to use your contract. Okay. So then this is actually how to create a factory contract to generate new what they call new contract. So let's quickly test and see. So if you come here and we try to deploy our contract, and yeah, so we use this. Then so if we see, if I click on create, it's going to create a new contract. So if you want to get this contract, I'm going to start with 0. Don't forget, an array starts with a 0 index. So this is the first contract I created, which ends with 3F, right? So if I click on it to create another simple storage, so if I search for the index, which is index 1, it's going to give me another contract. So this is a simple storage. This is another simple storage contract that we created. So if I click on it again, we're going to have index 2. right? So we're gonna have another contract. So I want you to observe something. This is how to import in company. So let me deploy again. I want to show you something. So we just imported this. So if you in Solidity, if you import anything, so if you import any file, so that file you can have access to use. You can use that file in your new contract. So this is we are just importing here, but there's no called inheritance. So let's observe this. You see, we when we do this, we only interact with only the name of the contract while we are importing now. But if we want to do something, let's say we want to inherit this contract now. If you use the factory is this keyword is used for inheritance. So if I use is, then I call the name of the contract like this. So if you have done something like this, they know the meaning of inheritance. So it implies that everything in this contract will be able to we'll be able to access that contract. So let's see. So if I could delete this and I try to deploy again, and we checked all the functions that you see. So both the contract, you can now have access to it. Through this contract, you can add books. Through this factory contract, you can get the book, all the book. You can get what's it called, libraries. You can get the libraries, and get any library you want, whatever you want to do. Why? Because you have inherited this. So this is actually what we call inheritance. You get? So this is what we call inheritance. So let's try to go through a library, an open zeppelin library. Let's see how to use an open zeppelin library to create a simple contract, a simple like let's create a simple token. So what is Open Zeppelin? So Open Zeppelin is a secured library, is an auditing company that help you to create a secured library you can use without what's it called, without stressing yourself. So if you go to Google and use Google and you try to use Open Zeppelin, now we go through the documentation. You have a lot of stuff there that you can use. So it's like they have created a library for you already. They have created a contract for small contract for you already. All you just need is to inherit the contract and start using it, or you import the contract. So it depends on what you're doing. If you want to import the contract, as I explained here, this is a contract, right? So why we imported it. So if when you imported it, we can only choose what to use, right? But if we inherit it, we can now have access to all this guy, right? So the same thing as an external library like Open Zeppelin, you can go there to grab their a library, grab the library. Then once you grab their library, all you just need is to inherit the library and you start using it. So let's just quickly come up with an example. So and also they have one nice feature there called wizard. So there's an open zeppelin wizard, says that they are security company, security audit company. So there's one called a wizard where we can just type what we want to. For example, we use this for generate contract like token and the likes. So you can just go through the documentation and see what they're actually doing. So I want to go to their GitHub. So I want to show you something. So we want to use it to write what they call, to just write a simple contract, a simple token contract. So where is it? Okay, yeah. So this is it. So if I come here, we go to contract. So yeah, these are the contracts we have on the Open Zeppelin. So let me just go to token. So we have ERC20. So yeah, you see, these are contracts. you can use in the openzeppelin. You can just import it and inherit it and start using it. So which will try to create a simple token with this contract. So let's see. Let me show you. I just want to show you the contract itself. So it's something you can also copy or the contract and use it direct, but it's just advisable to use it. So these are the contracts and the external contract. All you just need is to call it, then you start using it. So let's quickly demonstrate it. Let's create a token. Let's call it token and dot so. So once the token is gonna go. So of Pragma Solidity, then we can use 0.8 point maybe 21 if possible. Then the next thing is to import the contract. So there are ways you can import it globally by just using at open zeppelin slash contracts slash token I guess slash ERC20 since it's a token on deploy. So then use ERC20 dot so with this you've imported an openzeppelin library. Then we call the contracts, then we use this way. So we've imported this contract. Now we can start using the contract in our what's it called, in our library, in our contract. So how do we use that? How do we do that? So let's quickly check that. I want to show you something first. Let me show you openzeppelin like what's it called, openzeppelin wizard. So I want to see you how the wizard works. So once you click on openzeppelin wizard, you're gonna see how to use openzeppelin wizard. So yeah, let's first of all look at how we use openzeppelin wizard. It's kind of very easy to just use it. So wait it. Yeah, so this is it. Just like this. So all you need to do is to call the contract. Then let's say we just want it to be mintable. Then the name of your contract. Then if you don't want to put what they call pre-mint or whatever, can be there, like you can put the amount you want to mint. And just like that, you're gonna have your contract deployed. So let's quickly use this first. You can easily use this. Yeah, I see the same thing. We can do this. So we can see. So we imported two openzeppelin library. The first one is for the ERC20, that is I shown you there already, this contract. Then we imported an ownable, like want to give it a control as an access control, that is the owner of this contract can mint this contract, you see. So all you can do is to change, you can leave it as for example, let's leave it this way, and we'll make this a version 28.0. So what we are doing here, after importing this, then we imported this one. So these two guys are inherited in this contract. So if we could check, let me delete this, and you see, so you want to mint what they call initialize owner. So what this is actually telling us is that we should initialize. Yeah, this is a constructor. This constructor is telling us to tell us who want to deploy the contract, the owner of the contract, to give it a owner. You know what constructor does? I think I explained this in our previous video, that what constructor does is to it is being called once in a contract, and it sets the value of something in the contract, the value of a particular local variable in the contract, so we can able to use it, and it's initialized. Yes, let me use that statement. It's initialized the contract. So what this is doing, like, is trying to set an address to be owner of the contract. So if I do this and I click on deploy, so that means this contract is basically the owner, is the account that owns this contract. You set it to be like that. You get set it to be like that, and this is it. You set it here. Then we set the way to mint. We want to mint 10,000 token, and also there's another function here that is only, that's this ownable what's it called, library we've imported. Is actually what the ownable library is doing, is just to control. So with this control, with this ownable what's it called, modifier, this control, this particular function is basically for only the owner of the contract. This address, that's the only one that can call this mint function. Any other contract here cannot call it. Let's see. I will deploy, right? Deploy it, right? So you can see, so every function, every variable in this library has been imported here. Why? Because of the because of the inheritance we have done. While these two, all the contract in our ownable contract, which is this, is also what they call, is also all the function and the variable that is there is also showing. See, so can you see? So these are the function here. You see, these are the functions in the ownable contract. These are the functions. So all these functions have been inherited in our current contract, which is my token. So everything in ownable, owner and the likes will be here. Everything will be imported, so you can have access to whatever here. You can interact with it because you are what we have inherited the contract. So this is how inheritance works. That's how inheritance work. And the ownable, for what the ownable. Now, what does this library? What are they doing? This first library is what this one is helping us to do, is to generate a token, while this second one is for a control, for an access control, like to control which function and which function should be called by a particular person. So like this particular one, this owner, now since we have imported it and we have inherited it, so we can use the what they call the modifier there, which is this. This is the modifier. Yeah, this is this only owner modifier. So since we have imported and inherited the contract, so we can easily use this ownable or any other function in this contract. You get? So that's basically what the library does. So if, for example, if another account connect to this contract and wants to mint the contract, it will not work because of the ownable, because of the only owner. So let's try to use another contract to do that and see if it's gonna mint or not. So this is our owner contract. This is the contract that ends with F2, right? So let's try to use another contract, for example this, to mint a new token, to generate a new token. So let me see, just copy the address. So when we want to generate a new token, we have this, we are given two parameters, two arguments. The first one should be an address that the person wants to mint it, and the amount we want to mint. So if you put the address of the guy who want to mint, that is not the owner, then let's say we want to mint 1,000. Then let's say, well, you put anything will 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So if I try to call this function, it's not gonna work. This is it. So it's not working. You can see it's tried, has been reverted. to the initial state error provided by the control. So enable unauthorized account. So definitely this account is not authorized to mint new token. So it's not going to work because of this library we've imported and inherited it. Yes. So if I try to use the main account, the owner of the account, the owner of the contract, which is this. So this is gonna go because it's the owner of the contract, right? So if I try to let me mint it on another account. That just means the token to this account. Yeah, so the account there. So this is it. So let's try to mint into this account. On a match on the transact. So it's gonna go, you see, that's gone. Why? Because the owner of this contract was one that connected to it, because we have used a library called only owner, this ownable library, ownable owner, from an openzeppelin, what they call an openzeppelin library. So basically that's how it works. That's how inheritance and what they call works. Inheritance also talk about constructor, how we use constructor to initialize the owner, the account that will be the owner, and initialize the name and the symbol of the token. You guess why we use this to mint the amount of the token, and we use this for only owner to mint more token if he likes to mint the token. Okay, so basically we've created a standard ERC20 token with an open Zeppelin library using their ERC20, and they are like giving it an access control. So that's just it. I think we've been able to cover basically the basics of data structure in Solidity. So I think this is going to be the last video we're going to be doing on fundamentals of Solidity. So we've done the first, the second one, and the third one, the fourth one. So this is the fifth one. So this is going to be the last one we're going to do based on Solidity. So in the next video, you'll be seeing, it will be like going into different frameworks like Hardhat or Brownie to explain more on how to use it, and we leave this remix IDE. So as I said, it's just like playground where we can learn also we can learn to write our code. So the main frameworks we use for mutual security, or as a developer we use Hardhat, or we use Truffle, we use Brownie, we use Foundry and the likes. So we'll be introducing ourselves to those five frameworks in our subsequent video. All right, hope you're enjoying. If this is the first time you're joining the channel, please kindly subscribe to the channel. So our mission is to develop, or to make you become a smart contract developer, a blockchain developer, and a full stack, not only smart contract, a full stack developer. All right. I'll try to turn on a notification for more of this, to see more updates coming. All right. Thank you. Bye.